The wind screamed between the jagged spires of the Tirth Mountains, carrying the frozen breath of approaching night. My shuttle had crashed hours earlier, a smoking ruin buried somewhere behind me in the drifts. I'd been trekking ever since, wrapped in the torn remains of a thermal blanket, my beacon blinking faintly in my numb hand. Each step sank deep into the endless field of white, crunching like brittle bones beneath my boots. My oxygen levels were dropping. The planet's thin air clawed at my lungs. I knew the search teams wouldn't reach me in time. No one lasted long in this frozen graveyard. I had just enough power left in my beacon to send one last signal when movement flickered through the storm's haze. At first, I thought it was a mirage, something born from a dying mind. Then it drew closer, graceful and fluid against the howling wind. A figure emerged from the white curtain, tall, draped in furs, eyes gleaming like molten gold. Behind her, a long, elegant tail swayed, its tip glimmering with silver light. She wasn't human. "Don't move," she said, her voice low and melodic, resonating through the storm like a living pulse. Her tone was warm, alive. I stood frozen as she reached for me, brushing snow from my face with gloved fingers. The fabric of her cloak shimmered faintly, threads glowing like veins of starlight. "You'll die out here," she murmured, scanning me. "Come quickly." I didn't argue. Half carrying, half dragging me, she led me through the blizzard to a hidden cavern between two slabs of ice. Inside, the air was warmer, glowing faintly from blue crystals that grew along the walls like frozen flames. She pulled back her hood. I finally saw her clearly, skin pale as frostlight, hair flowing like liquid silver. Her eyes had slitted pupils, predatory yet strangely gentle. Her pointed ears twitched when I rasped, What are you?" A faint smile. "You humans call my kind Wolfrin. We've lived here long before your ships came to strip our mountains." I wanted to thank her, but my lips trembled too much. She wrapped a pelt around me, guiding me near the glowing crystals. Her tail brushed my leg, warm, alive, instinctively curling for comfort. "You're lucky I found you," she said. "The cold spirits favor no one." I managed a weak chuckle. "Then I owe them for guiding me to you." That earned me a small, amused smirk. When I awoke, the storm had quieted. She sat beside a steaming pool, cleaning her claws with calm precision. When she saw I was awake, she offered a bowl of thick broth that smelled of herbs and smoke. "Eat," she said softly. "You'll need your strength." I obeyed, the warmth spreading through me like sunlight. "What should I call you?" I asked. "Lineri," she said. "Lineri," I repeated, testing the name. "I'm Ethan." "I know," she replied. "Your badge said so." I looked at my torn uniform. "You went through my stuff." A slight tilt of her head. "You were unconscious. I needed to see if you carried anything dangerous or valuable." "Find anything?" Her lips curved faintly. "Only a photograph. Someone you care about." "My sister," I whispered. Her gaze softened. "She'll be looking for you, maybe. But comms are dead, even if they find the wreck." "I don't know if I'll live," I said quietly. Lineri interrupted gently. "You will. You'll see her again." Her certainty made me believe it, though I shouldn't have. Over the next day, I learned things about her kind that no human had ever recorded. The Wolfrin lived deep beneath the ice, in sanctuaries carved over centuries. Their tails weren't just for balance, they could sense emotions, even intent. She spoke of the soul bond, a rare connection that transcended species. It sounded like myth, but the way her eyes lingered on mine made my chest tighten. That night, beside the glowing crystals, I asked, "Why save me? Your people don't exactly welcome ours." She didn't answer right away. Instead, she brushed my cheek with the back of her clawed hand. "Because when I saw you fall from the sky, something called to me. Something I couldn't ignore." Her tail slid across the floor, curling around my wrist. Heat surged through me, deep, raw, alive, like my heartbeat aligned with hers. "Do you feel that?" she whispered. I could barely breathe. What is it? The beginning, she said. I stayed through the long storm cycles. We hunted together, shared stories, and slowly the distance between us vanished. Sometimes I'd wake at night to find her tail draped over me like a shield. She never explained why. I never asked. It felt right, like I belonged there. When the rescue beacon started transmitting again, I almost didn't activate it. Lineri watched from across the fire, her expression unreadable. "They'll come soon," she said quietly. "Yeah," I replied. "Guess that's good news." She nodded, though her tail twitched restlessly. The silence between us thickened. "You don't have to go," she whispered. "You could stay. The ice won't take you. I'd make sure of it." I hesitated. "You know I can't." Her voice sharpened. "Your people left you to die." She rose, eyes blazing with pain. "And I found you. I gave you warmth, food, life. Why still chase them?" "Because it's what I am," I said softly. "Human." Her gaze dropped, sorrow flickering across her face. For a long moment we said nothing. Then she stepped closer, voice trembling. "If that's true, then let me give you something to remember me by." Her tail wrapped around my waist, pulling me closer. The touch was electric, warm, wild, alive. My breath hitched as she pressed her forehead to mine. Her heart thundered against my chest. Outside, the storm held again, but I barely heard it. All I felt was her, the strength of her arms, the trembling warmth of her breath. Her tail tightened, sealing a bond one couldn't name, but knew I'd never escape. When the rescue team finally broke through the ice, she was gone. Only faint footprints led toward the mountains. Around my wrist, a thread of silver fur remained, woven like a promise. Weeks later, aboard the medical frigate, I'd wake at night and swear I felt her tail brush my leg, warmth curling around me like falling snow. Every scan said I was fine. Every doctor called it a phantom sensation. But I knew better. Somewhere beneath those frozen peaks, a Volfrin named Lineri still felt me in her heart, as I felt her in mine. And no matter how many stars I crossed, no matter how far I went, one truth remained. Her tail had wrapped around me, and I was hers forever. The ship's engines hummed as the stars stretched across the void, endless and cold. I sat there staring into infinity. The silver thread still circled my wrist, glowing softly like a heartbeat. No one else could see it. They said she was a hallucination, my mind's trick to survive. But I knew the truth. Every time I closed my eyes, I could feel her warmth, the faint curl of her tail, the whisper of her voice calling my name through the dark.